Hey everybody, Paul here again from ADV for me. Did you say ADV for me? Yeah, that's what I said. ADV for me. Yeah, ADV for me. Okay. ADV for us. ADV for everybody. Can you just get out of my shot, please? Okay. Thank you. Sorry guys. Today we're going to talk about the 47 updates. I know I couldn't believe it either when I actually listed them out. 47 updates I've done to my 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700. And you know what? At the end of this, if you don't like the video, you can go and Farkle your own bike. Stay tuned. All right, so let's dive deep here. So I was thinking about all the things that I've done to my bike. I put together a list and I thought, maybe we could do just a quick overview of all the things that I've done. The list is long and I may have to refer to my phone a couple of times to ensure that I'm getting everything that I've done to the bike. So starting off with the very front, I've got the Motoz Tractionator Adventure tires. Got 6,000 kilometers on these tires so far and they've wore very, very well. Much better than the Scorpion Rallies that came obviously on the bike stock. So moving up from the front here, I've got the Denali S4 light pods, which are great lights. I have the Headlight cover, the guard. I know that these lights on these bikes are quite expensive and I think they're hard to get, so I went ahead and bought myself a cover just to help keep that main light assembly protected. And then moving up, we have the front windshield sliders. This adjustment point here gives me 4 more inches of protection, which is great, especially on the highway. I also have in the front here, I've got the Innov, I think it's called the K2. It's an older version, but I do have an onboard camera that's running all the time, just in case. I'm not using it for any real riding adventure type footage. It's just more for insurance purposes, and something happened, I've got it on film. Moving from there, I've got the Denali light bar, which I've got my S4s mounted to. And what's great about the Denali light bar is it works perfectly with the Outback Motortech upper crash bars. There's a slight space in there. It actually fits in perfectly, and it's almost like it was designed around this setup. So I'm really happy with that. Going a little further back into the bike, I've got the Yamaha Spear LED lights. I got rid of the big pumpkins basically as soon as I got the bike. Going just behind the dash here, I do have a 2-port USB charger which I've installed. Going up top, I've got the Rally Raid GPS mount, which holds on to my Garmin Zumo XT actually very, very well, very securely. I also have the Camel ADV anti-bobble kit installed. Going a little bit deeper here, I have the quad lock anti-vibration wireless charge head, which is mounted on another auxiliary bar that I got on Amazon, so it keeps it up off of the main bar and it allows me to tuck in my cell phone very, very cleanly. I've got the double take adventure mirrors, which are great. I also have breakaway brake lever and clutch lever. I did have an incident when I was riding about an hour away from home. I dumped the bike and I broke my front brake lever right off, and that wasn't the greatest experience. But anyways, I've since moved forward with breakaway levers and they've been working great. I do also have the Barkbuster handguards, and incorporated into the Barkbusters, I have the Denali light pods. For me, being seen on the road is super important, so I've spent a little bit of extra money on my lighting. In addition to the S4s and the front light pods, I also have the DM ones, the ambers, which are mounted down below here. And to control these, I'm now using the Denali dial dim, which is over on the left side, which is great because you can toggle between the two sets of lights and control the intensity of both of them. It's a great system. It's not the least expensive system on the market by any means, but it's a great system. Super happy with it. I also have the Yamaha OEM heated grips, which helps us extend our riding a little bit. I also have the SW Motec tank bag. I like this one here because it sits off the tank, off the bike, and it's expandable. And inside this bag I have, I've got a water bladder, which I use for hydration when I'm on my rides. Let's see here. Oh, can't forget the Outback Motortech crash bars. I've got the upper and lower crash bars, and I've dumped this bike at least 100 times. I'm okay saying that. I dump the bike a lot in the type of riding that we do, and these things have not shifted, not bent. They've held up extremely well. Again, I've already covered the Denali DM ones. Yeah, I also have the Denali crash bar mounts on there as well, holding them. My son has a Cricut vinyl cutter, and when he saw my Denali products, he said, "Dad, your bike is kind of like the Denali edition." So when your son says he's going to make you stickers, you go with it. So this is the Tenere 700 Denali edition. I do actually have 10 or 11 products from Denali on the bike. Speaking of Denali products, on the other side, I do have the Denali mini sound bomb horn, which is, it's so much better than the stock horn. Okay, moving along here, I've covered that tank bag. I've got the Alt-Rider single finger clutch lever here, so it changes the geometry, so it makes the clutch a little bit easier to pull. I have the Camel ADV gut guard, which I've put through its paces. I also have the Camel ADV foot pegs. And then underneath the seat, I have the Denali power hub, which is what I have my lights and my heated grips and my GPS and my USB wired into. And I also have the anti-gravity battery in here, which also has the Bluetooth dongle. I'm going to call it the dongle, which allows me to monitor the battery through my cell phone. The anti-gravity battery is great. It's already saved my ass once while out riding, left the lights on. Battery drained, but what it does obviously is it keeps a reserve. What happens is it just cuts the battery off completely. You have to basically hit a reset button, and that'll actually wake the battery up and give you that little bit of power in order for you to get the bike started. So it did save me once. I do have the Yamaha OEM panniers on this. I did buy the GV 30-liter top box and the additional rack as well. Some guys like the soft carriers. I'm looking at doing a flip over to them. It's nice to have obviously options, but this here works great as the kitchen, and I've had nothing but great times with this setup. I'm just going to remove these just so that they're out of the way so we can see a bit more of the bike. One thing I will also review here is I've also strapped on both sides, left and right, I've got some twist lock water bottle holders with a rock strap on the top here, and this just helps me with range, gives me an extra 2 liters of fuel. So I'm just going to toss this out of here, and I'll get rid of this guy here. Moving to the back of the bike, I have removed the pillion seat in favor of the OEM tail rack. I put a bag on top of here, and it also is where I keep my Endurastand tool roll. Okay. One thing I also forgot to mention, which is mounted right here, out of sight, out of mind, but is a great tool. I've got the Tracamo GPS real-time tracker. As soon as this bike is touched or moved, I get a notification on my cell phone saying that someone's touched it or it's moving. Another great thing that I did out of the gate to avoid the whole swing arm exhaust issue, I converted over to the high mount exhaust, and I went with the Husar from Poland. And this system here is great. It's up high, it's got a great sound, great exhaust notes, and it's a great update. I highly recommend this setup. If anybody has any questions about anything that I've done, just leave a comment, and I'll definitely get back to you. So let's see here, looking at what we've covered, I think I've got everything so far. I don't think I've missed anything going this way. In the back end here too, I do have the Denali brake lights with the Denali license plate mount as well. Oh, and also the Camel ADV tail tie. So I think I've got everything covered here. Like Santa Claus, I'll check my list twice here. Tractionator, headlight guard, two things I forgot. I have the rubber grip pads, and in addition to the quad lock wireless charging head, I have their smart USB power supply. And what that does is as soon as I turn the bike on, it turns on. And then when the voltage on the bike drops below, I think it's 12.5 volts, it shuts off. So you can set it to on, you can set it to off, or you can set it to auto. So it's a good feature. So that basically wraps up the 47 item list. If you have any questions about any of the installations or any of the items that I've put on, I just found something else. The bobbins, I put on bobbins in the back too so I can use the rear tire stand. So the list just keeps growing. I'm sure there's something on here that I've missed, but anyways, love my bike, love tweaking on it, and yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And you know, I'm just getting started with this channel, guys, so if you want to go ahead and give me a like and maybe subscribe, that'd be awesome. And yeah, so can't wait till the next one. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.